Good afternoon, everyone. Today is 100 days since the terrible morning of October 7th, when Hamas breached 1,200 Jews while kidnapping over 250. And although we stand at 100, and although we stand at 100 days, there are still over 130 men, women, and children as old as 85 years old to 1 year old who are being held for 100 days under the most brutal conditions, through abuse and rape and neglect, away from their families. And each and every one of us Jews, wherever we are all over the world, is praying and hoping to hear good news. But this week's Torah portion is Parshat Bo, when we read the iconic words that Moses said to Pharaoh time and time again, which became the rallying cry of every single civilization that wanted freedom, that wanted rights. Moses tells Pharaoh, "Let my people go." And it's interesting because the Jewish people have been those on the forefront of fighting for freedom for every single people who were oppressed. Throughout the history of the world, the Jewish people have never ceased to scream, "Let my people go," to take the words of Moses and to fight for freedom and the rights of every single human being. And yet, when the Jewish people are under threat, and when the Jewish people are under the terror of annihilation, those who want to annihilate them, the world and all those that we have helped, remain silent at best and complicit with the terrorists at worst. But we can't be demoralized, because we have to know and have the faith and the strength that as a unity, as a Jewish people, when we come together, united as one, and cry, "Let my people go," and every day change our day to remember that there are people that need to be brought home, and no day should be regular, no day should be the same till we get our brothers and sisters back home. I saw a tweet from former American U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, who said that he just came back from a prayer at the Kotel for 100 days since the war began. And he said that one of the people that spoke there was a soldier who lost his leg in Gaza fighting for his people. He lost his leg that needed to be amputated. And the soldier said like this, he said, "If we keep the unity as a Jewish people and don't go back to fighting with each other as we did before October 7th, and we unite at once as one," he said, "it's worth it for me to lose my leg to bring unity for the Jewish people." Think of the words of this young heroic man. What does he say? He's ready to he lost a leg, and he says it's worth it if us Jews could unite against the tyranny, against the hate, fight for our people, but love each other. You know, on Shabbos I spoke in Shul, I watched this remarkable interview of Hadass Lowenstern, her husband Elisha, on October 7th. When he heard what happened, he immediately reported to Miluim, to reservists, although he didn't have to, because he had 6 kids with a 10-month-old and a 12-year-old oldest child. He was married for 13 years, never had the merit to marry off, to bar mitzvah his son, or neither to teach his little baby how to say Abba. And he went immediately to fight. And he only spoke to his wife twice during the 10 weeks he was fighting. And each time it was short, but he was so proud to defend his people. And then his tank was the first tank that went into south of Gaza. And soldiers got in trouble, and he jumped out to help them, and he was shot by a terrorist, and he died on Hanukkah. And the other soldiers who were in the tank with him told his wife that when they asked him, everyone writes a letter in case, heaven forbid, they don't come back, so their family should know the final wishes and what they think. And they asked him if he's going to write a letter. All of them wrote a letter, and he said, "I don't need to write a letter." He said, "I lived my life every day and spend my time with my family, letting them know everything I want and I think of them, and how I would want them to grow up and what I want them to do. I don't need to write a letter. This is the spirit of the Jewish people. A man who, as his wife said, never wasted a moment, who was studying or exercising, always proud to be there for his people. And his wife finished off like this. She said, me and my 6 children will live a life of joy, of happiness, of love for Judaism. I will not let the terrorists get the better of us. We will continue to live and thrive in our holy land of Eretz Yisrael. When I watched it, I was blown away. These are the people, the heroes that we're talking about. Thousands of tens of thousands of soldiers who leave their family to protect their people. And the truth is that every single Jew and every single Israeli today is a hero with all that they have done and continue to do. But the rallying cry has to be, let my people go, as Moses says in this week's Torah portion. And may it be the will of Hashem that as we come at the 100th day, that the God of mercy of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, should say, Dai Litzor Seinu, enough to the suffering of the Jewish people, and bring all our hostages back home, bring all our soldiers back home to their people, and secure and safe Israel for everyone. Have an awesome day.